Good morning, people, and welcome back to another instalment of the Triumph TR7. Old Tibby here. Now, I did manage to clean up the trailing arms and get the bushes out, and what I did notice when I did take the arms off, it's got, whoever had this before had either put different ones in, or they chopped off some of the circular end bush to get them through. They're not that easy to get through here, as you can see. They're really too big, but there's ways and means of doing that, and there was one each on the back, so it wouldn't be seen when it was actually on the car. Now these ones were actually fully made. The correct ones have been on there since the car was probably made, and I actually drilled through them just to make them a little bit weaker, just to get them to pop out, as it were, so they collapse a bit. Now the new ones I've got are here, and these are the Super Pro polyurethane bushes, and these are going to go in. I've got the pins to go in, so I'm just softening them up at the moment, and I've got the grease to actually put them in through, so they'll sit inside here. As you can see, they're too big, but just put a threaded bolt through there with a nut and some large washers and just compress them through on either end. I did clean them up. They're in a bit of a state, so plan is today is to get these sprayed up and get the poly bushes in, clean the springs up. I may as well just do that myself. I had some red paint somewhere, but I can't find it, so concentrate on the trailing bushes, the springs. I have the new rubbers here to go in. That's the believe it or not, that's the bottom mount for the spring. The spring sits in there. This is the top one, which sits up like this, that way up, and as you can see, the older ones, they look as if they're a bit slightly deformed. I think they were reusable, but you can see the way the end of the spring is actually dug in here. And Henry's garage, the chap there, he was questioning about whether the springs were sitting right once he got them back onto the car. I did say to him in a comment that the spring looks as if it had dug in here and here as well for the top. So that's probably over a period of time as the car's been bouncing up and down, and it's bedded itself into the rubber. And I say that's why I bought some new ones, one for either side, top and bottom. Then I'll get the other one that's split actually. So again, this one's deformed slightly, so the spring will probably move about a bit or not be as nicely in situ. That one has split, as I showed in a previous video. So yeah, for the sake of a couple of quid, it's not, once the springs are out, I may as well get it done. So that's the rubber mounts for the springs, and I'll just show you. Actually, now it's the spring here, and it sits inside there, so you can see as the spring's being compressed, it will actually, this end part here will actually bed into the rubber, but it's quite nice and flush that at the moment. You can see that, and that'll sit onto the onto that part of the trailing arm. A bit more cleaning to do with that, as you can see inside, but yeah, the axle is all now fully sprayed. It's looking quite nice in the sunshine, and yeah, I did take out the breather just to stop any spray getting in, and I'll start building this up with the brake pipes and get the drums on and the half shafts back in. This has been left overnight, so I'm not sure about this paint, to be honest. It feels a bit tacky in places. Maybe that's why I've got it out here on the trolley, just to get it to dry some in the sunshine. But I'm quite happy with that effect. She's come up rather nice. Yeah. And I did give the drums another spray over as well. These don't seem to be as tacky as such, but they are quite nice. And yeah, so the plan is, as I said, is to get the axle sort of built today. I'm going to have a job and a half with these poly bushes. I can just feel it coming. And so once I've cleaned up the trailing arms a bit further and sprayed those, wait for them to dry, give them a couple of coats, then I'll do the springs. I'm still undecided if I'm going to spray them black or red. Red would be nice, but as a contrast, but black, I don't know. I think originally they were red. I can see some red paint on them, and then they've been sprayed black by the looks of it. But if I get them back to bare metal, should be okay. I'll see how it goes. So I'll give an update later about the white feather there. Yeah, I'll give an update later. I've got some high performance bearing grease this morning. I thought I had some, but it was a bit old, so I just bought some new. And we'll get everything back together again. Hopefully I'll show you a video with it all back either today or tomorrow morning. See how it goes. Alright, that's it for now. Thank you very much, and goodbye. So I've cleaned up the springs as best as I can, and I've got the trailing arms sprayed up, and they're drying nicely. I'll give them a second coat. Now, one thing I did notice with the springs, especially on the end where they've actually sit, the ends of the springs are very, very acute and sharp. So I suppose with the nature of this sitting in there, as you can see, the old one, it's dug in there quite a bit, and this one that's actually split, I don't know which one it was on now, but you can imagine that spring sitting in there and digging in again there, and which has forced the split. So what I've actually done is I've actually filed off a nice rounded edge, or I'm in the process of filing that, because if you see on this one, where she's been obviously cut, they've not done anything with the edge here, and it's very sharp, and yeah, it would easily bed into the rubbers, the new ones. So I don't want to have this new one. So if I put that one on here, the weight of that car is going to compress down on it. It's going to cut into the rubber, I suppose. So what I've done on this one, as you can see, I've actually filed that back there just to give a nice beveled edge there. Now, I don't want to teach anybody to suck eggs, but if you want to get a nice round surface on this, instead of just filing this way, what you do is you actually attack it in a way where if I just do it on the side just to make it easier, if you want to get a nice round file, is if you drive the file and go the opposite way round, as if you're moving away from the surface like that with the file. So as you come this way and go away, what you'll notice that the filing will actually become nice and round. And basically what you're doing there, for all you people out there that love trigonometry and stuff, is that you will actually be hitting and striking every single tangent possible. So you will actually a tangent all the way around that as you file, and it'll actually naturally become sort of round as opposed to angular in one way like this. So if I'm doing this, you could argue and say that yeah, you are hitting the tangents as well, but you don't know where you're putting the most pressure. But as you come away like that and use sort of like 2/3 of the file, it will actually create a round surface. You can try it on a scrap bit of metal, just get a corner and start doing that, and it will naturally become rounded. So just a bit of useless information there for you, and it's something I learned many years ago when I were a lad, and it's held me in good stead ever since. And I just thought I'd round off the ends of these springs before putting them back onto the car or even spraying them up. Still haven't decided yet whether they're going to be red, yellow, orange or black. Quite like this orange on this mat. it's if you look under the car, it'd be something else that stands out, I guess, you know, against the black and the hammerite effect of the axle. So there we are. So continuing on later. Okay, last update for today. For Tibby, basically I cleaned up the springs, and I haven't sprayed them yet. Got to get some paint. I put the polyurethane bushes into the trailing arms. It wasn't too bad after all. I've got a big screw kit there with some large fender washers, as the Americans call them, so I've actually got those in. They weren't too bad. Greased it all up, and yeah, you don't get a lot of grease for those, but enough to do the job, I guess. The back plate's on. The diff, I've got to put the oil in yet. The breather tube is still okay to use. I stripped it down, just cleaned it all out. There's a bit of gunk in there. It'll breathe nicely, and I've got the half shafts back in. The bearings were fine. I didn't see any reason why to change those bearings, and just all new grease in there. Put the hubs back together again and put them on. Just got to put the drum covers on, and yeah, she's all back on nicely. Springs all in. Nice new zinc nuts there. Now I did look on Red's garage when he did his axle. He actually put the nylock nuts on the outside, whereas I've got the bolts on going from the outside in, and basically you can't get a socket on this one. You have to use an open-ended spanner to actually hold that whilst you undo these, and there is access holes here, so I've got those nice and tight now. Same on the other side, and plan is to get this in. But looking underneath, you know, here I go, dare I say it, I shall be looking maybe to get that's the end of the prop there. It's all looking a bit again. I thought to myself, I'm gonna have to probably, you know, when I put the tie rods in and the the trailing arms, I'm thinking, oh, well, perhaps I should actually get this all repainted. You know, it'd be a shame not to, really. But, you know, it's all looking pretty spick and span. It's all flaking off though, isn't it? That's the thing. It's no, it's coming off quite easy. Yeah, since I did the new centre exhaust box, I just thought, well, you can see all the crud here, look, on the floor, look, you know, it was all dropped off, and I just sweep all this up. But I guess if I'm going to do it, I should be doing it before I put the back axle in, or back in. That's where the new mounts go for the springs, and like you can see here, it's just sort of flaking off. Might I expose some rust on there, perhaps? I don't know. We'll see. But really happy with it so far. I've been at it all day, and it's just time consuming, really. And yeah, so I'll come back out again and just navigate my way through. Make sure I don't knock anything over. Yes. There's the... oh, actually, I'll show you what I did do. I did talk about it earlier on. I did, as you can see there, I've got the ends nice and sort of taken the sharpness out of them, and I've beveled that side as well, so you can see if I spray it, it's not so sharp anymore. Same on the other one as well. That's the rubber that it's going to going in the top. I just put the rubbers there just to seat them, and it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, so that, as they say, is it. I'm just going to been tidying up and put everything in a square away. Yeah, a cup of tea's in order, I think. So decisions to be made on hammerising the underneath. How far up will I go? Oh dear. Still, there we are. I hope you enjoyed that, and that's a lot of work. I suppose I could have videoed it, but I say it's just, you know, just so much to do. It'd be so long, the videos, but the before and afters are just as good, right? Okay, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, and if you can, check out Red's Garage and also Henry's Garage. Two guys, Red's Garage and Henry's Garage, they've completely stripped the body of a TR7, and they've literally gone through everything, and some welding that they require to do, especially in Henry's Garage. Well worth a watch if you're thinking of undertaking any refurbishment on a TR7. Highly recommend the guys there. It's got some great videos on their channel, so check them out. I'll put the links to their two channels at the end of this video. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you very much, and goodbye.